Hello, welcome to Dreams to Keys Realty YouTube channel. I am your host and licensed Georgia Realtor, Jalon. Thank you for coming back. If this is not your first video here on this channel, we hope that you keep coming back and also put some comments in our comment box to let us know if there's anything that you really want to hear from us or you're really curious about with residential real estate. If this is your first video, we hope that you come back for more, and we also hope that this video is informative for you so that you can subscribe and continue to come back to this channel. Now, we have one important topic that we like to discuss today, but before we get into that, let's get into this disclaimer. Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about today's topic. So today we're going to prioritize our sellers. And the topic today is, what are the top 3 ways that sellers can attract buyers? Some of these things may sound very common, very obvious, but to some people it may not be as obvious, but let's get into the topic. So with the top 3 ways that sellers can attract buyers, we're going to start with point number 1. Point number 1 is let your market know that your home is for sale. There are various ways that you can do this. There are various ways that an agent, a realtor, can help you do this. But essentially, your home has to be marketed that it is for sale. So no one can come and want to buy your home typically, or most of the time they don't come to buy your home unless they know that you're interested in selling it. Now, in this case, we're not usually talking about investors or people that may call you just out of nowhere, it seems like, looking for your home to be purchased. And we've seen some of that and more of that, seems like, in the most recent years, at least in this area, where investors or just seems like random callers may call you asking if you're willing to sell your home, and your home may not even be on the market. So that's more of an outside thing, but we're talking about people that are intentional about selling their home. So for sellers, there's various ways that you can make sure that people in the market area know that this home is for sale. For one, we advise that you consider getting a realtor. A realtor can help access not just other buyers or potential buyers, but they can also access the agents of clients or customers that are looking for exactly what your home offers or looking in your area in general. So as a realtor, one avenue we have access to is what's called the multiple listing service, which is the MLS. And essentially that is a way where we can put your home up on the market and let everyone know that your home is for sale. So that becomes accessible to other realtors, other agents, and that also becomes accessible to potential buyers. So sometimes as realtors, when we have clients that are buyers or potential buyers, we can send them just information about homes that are available in the market for sale. And your home could be added to that list of what an agent could be sending out to their buyer clients. So this increases the attraction from people that have been, let's say, pre-approved and already have an agent or realtor on board with them to hopefully speed up the process to getting your home sold. So those are some key things that a realtor can help you with. Also consider, whether you have a realtor or not, to put a for sale sign in your yard. So having that for sale sign kind of wakes up your neighbors. It kind of lets people that are driving by or people in your neighborhood know that there's a home for sale in this neighborhood. And that could be a great benefit to you because some of your neighbors may have friends or family members that they would really like to live closer. And having that for sale sign in your yard gives them the opportunity to have those conversations with their friends and family, or just people they may come across, whether they're coworkers or what have you, and let them know, hey, there's a home for sale in my neighborhood. Sounds like you're interested in this neighborhood or in this market area. why don't you check it out? Looks like they're having a showing. And they can be kind of your word of mouth crew, if you want to think of it that way. So they can kind of do some of that word of mouth work for you and let other people know that, hey, there's a place for you to possibly live here. So making sure that you let those in the market area know that your home is for sale is a big key factor. Most people know about these areas or know about getting a realtor and putting a for sale sign in the yard, but this is just explaining why those things are important, why it makes sense, and why you should not avoid these steps if you don't have any issues that prevent you from avoiding them. Now, let's move to point number 2. So point number 2 is that once you put your home on the market, you need to make sure it's shown in the best light. So that can be a number of different factors involved. There can be a number of different factors involved in how you present your home in the best light. So ways that you can do that is, there are several ways that you can do that. So one way would be making sure that you have professional photos done. So even though you may love your phone, you may love the pictures you take of yourself and family and friends, make sure that you get professional photos done when you are trying to sell your home. Because there are just ways that those professional photographers can get your home at the best angles and the best lighting and really present it in a way that gives it the best light. And that helps people feel welcomed in to even want to come and see the home, whether they come with an agent as a showing or they come to an open house. These are photos that can really brighten up the potential buyer's interest and make them interested in coming to see the home. Another way is, once they come in to see the home, make sure that you have a clean, staged home. So some of that may mean that you just clean up your home as it is. You just straighten up your furniture and clean up things as you currently live in the home, if you are still living there. If you have a second home or you're not quite living in the home that you're selling, then you could consider getting a stager. And a stager can give you pieces and give you ideas about how to make the home appear in its best and most welcoming light. The stager can give you some ideas or give you some pieces that will help the potential buyers or the buyer walking through to visualize living in this home. So you may consider seeing a stager or talking with a stager before you get the photography done, but it all depends on where you are in your scenario, if you're living in the home still, or if you are vacating the home or have vacated the home already. So those are 2 things that you can do to present it in the best light. Now, there is one other thing that you can do that comes to mind as far as presenting it in the best light, is to just make sure that when you have an open house, hopefully you'll have an open house scheduled, that you have a clean home, that your home is walkable, that you can walk through the home, that potential buyers can walk through the home and see all the areas. They don't have to avoid certain rooms because of pets. If you have pets in your home, you may want to take them with you when you have your open house so that your potential buyers or people walking through can actually see all of the space. They don't feel inhibited and they can visualize themselves coming through. So we strongly recommend, if you haven't had an open house, that you do the steps of the stager and the photography first. Get that settled, get some marketing done so that people can kind of see those professional pictures and know that you have an open house coming up. And that way, when the time for the open house comes, that you have people coming in droves and they're well aware that this house has been on the market and that they're interested because they've seen the marketing that's going on. Hopefully, with a realtor involved, you can get some social media marketing done of the home so that you can drive more attention and attract more potential buyers for that home. So let's talk about the third and final way that we'll discuss here for sellers to attract buyers. The third way may come as a shock and may not be a surprise to others, but sellers can actually contribute to the financial portion of the deal. So this may not be something as a seller you are interested in, but if you feel like you're having a tough time in your market where you're getting people but they're slowly coming in, or the other agents have given some feedback that maybe there's kind of a cost difference, or some issues where they wish it was just a little bit, let's say, lower in the mortgage payments for that potential buyer. So that would involve some discussion, but a way to kind of go around that or make it a bit easier on your buyer is through presenting options that the seller is contributing a bit to the financing. So one way to do that is through what's currently going on in our market here is a 2-1 buy down. And essentially that is pretty much meaning that a seller is contributing for the first 2 years toward the mortgage of the home for the deal. So this means that the buyer will have a lower interest rate for the first 2 years of that deal. And in the third year, the rate that the buyer will have permanently, typically in a permanent rate, would start on the third year. So what it looks like for the buyer would typically mean that the lower rate starts first in the first year. By the second year, the rate increases a bit. And by the third year, it goes to its permanent rate. So that can alleviate some upfront costs for the buyer. It does add additional costs for the seller, but if you're in a tough market and you can afford taking a little bit off of your profit, then maybe that's something you can consider. Also, you could also consider seller financing or owner financing. Now, those of you that may be investors, these terms may not be new to you at all, but owner or seller financing, which both can be used as the same term or synonymous terms, this is pretty much where instead of the buyer presenting the funds for the deal, the owner is presenting the funds, or the seller in this case is the owner that is presenting the funds for the deal, and the buyer is paying back directly to that owner. So it's essentially like you're funding your own deal in this case, because you are essentially funding what's needed for the buyer to pay what the buyer would have paid on your deal or on the home for sale. And then the buyer's actually paying you instead of paying a mortgage company, essentially. So those are 2 ways where sellers can help to facilitate in the financial aspect to close a deal if there is, let's say, some issue where there's interest in the market, but haven't quite found someone to close the deal fairly quickly or within the time that you would like. Maybe opening it up to something where there's some seller financing contribution could help facilitate the deal and attract buyers, because buyers like to see how can they find the home that they love, but they also want to make sure that it's at an affordable price or rate. And if they are brought in also because they know that you are helping, you want to make sure that this deal closes, just like when lenders lend on homes for the buyers, they want to see if they have skin in the game, right? So this is a way that sellers also put skin in the game and get involved in the financial piece. It's not a huge involvement unless it's what I mentioned before, like the seller financing. But the 2-1 buy down is something that we're seeing and hearing more in the market right now, and that could be an option if you are a seller having a bit of a tough time trying to close a deal on a home. So those are our top 3 ways that sellers could attract buyers in this current market. If you are a seller and you are interested in having an agent, a realtor such as myself at Dreams to Keys Realty help you with closing on a home deal for you, selling your home, then let's get together, let's get on the phone, and let's make sure that we get in contact so that we can make sure this happens for you. So the contact information for Dreams to Keys Realty and for myself will be at the end of this video and also down in the description box. I hope that you are able to really find that all of your dreams turn into keys. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comment box. And if you have a very strong liking for this video, make sure that you subscribe to our channel. Hit that like button for us to let us know that we're doing a great job here. And if you know someone that's interested in selling their home and they're not quite sure how to get started, make sure that you share this video with them. We hope that all of your dreams turn into keys. Have a blessed one.